Okay, we're going to try the stitching. We have it set at straight stitching. That's just normal. This corresponds with that. On A, straight stitching is in the selections of A, in the gray next to the buttonhole. We'll explain the rest of these later. You want the needle position in the center. You can go to the left or to the right. Watch, I'll move this lever and you can watch the needle and see what happens. That's if you really need to sew close to the edge of something like a zipper, or if you want to make consecutive rows of stitching really close together. Here we have our stitch length dial. See, when we start at 0, these lines are very close together and small. That's how big your stitches are going to be. So we like to keep it around 3. That's about the most average. If you need real small stitches, 1. Really big loose stitches, 5. I also solved our thread spool problem. I got a straw and I put it on the bobbin winder. So if you wind a bobbin, just pull this off. Put the straw on. Put an empty bobbin on. That makes it slippery. So this will spin very nicely and we won't have any snags. I also changed to red so you can see it more clearly. I had to adjust the stitch to get a good straight stitch. You shouldn't have to change this at all. Tension should normally be between 2 and 5, usually 3.5 to 4 is average. That's why there's lines here. Sometimes when the machines get older, there's a spring in here with 2 discs that kind of look like symbols. So these numbers are how tight those symbols are squeezing on the thread. So we don't want it super tight because then it doesn't stitch properly and things won't hold together. But we don't want it super loose either because then the thread will just come through and it winds up snarling up on the back and making a big mess. So we have our fabric under the presser foot. I folded it in half to simulate a seam. I put the presser foot down. You always start stitching with the take-up lever at the very, very top, or your thread will pull out, your needle will come unthreaded, and you'll need to start over, and it usually makes a big mess underneath. So here we go. You turn the knob towards you to start. Step on the gas. It sounds pretty good for an old machine. And when you're finished, you always bring the needle up to the highest position. Watch the take-up lever, always at the top. Then you lift the presser foot. You pull the fabric out about 4 inches away from you to the back, and then you can bring it around to trim it. But always pull it to the back of the machine. Snip your threads. And let's see how this looks. Oh, that's beautiful. We can only see red on top, which is what we want, and it's straight. The stitches are even. We only see white on the back. The stitches are pretty even. That's what we want. See, at the beginning there's a little bit of red thread right here looping around. That's not a good stitch, but it fixed itself as we went down